We have high heat index again. It's going to feel like triple digits for us this afternoon. Yesterday, we hit 100. We'll talk about the heat that remains with us all week.
And a crash and shooting on New Hope Road in Raleigh. The information the WRAL Breaking News Tracker gathered from the scene.
Also, a big development is coming to Johnston County. What sources tell WRAL about the expansion and the $1 billion going into that county. Let's bring you inside our WRAL studio here on a Monday and a weather alert day. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Great to have you with us. Yes, it's going to feel like another sauna day. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to let you know what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, so we are looking at some cloud cover out there for us this morning, but look at this, it's 82 degrees and our dew point is 74. So when you walk out the door, it just sort of hits you, like somebody threw a wet blanket over your head. It's very uncomfortable. 79 in Fayetteville, 77 Goldsboro, 77 in South Hill, and in Roxborough, 79 degrees in Southern Pines. We do have some cloud cover that we're seeing this morning as you're stepping out the door. We'll be dry this morning for the most part, but there could be an isolated shower that cruises through our southeastern counties this morning. And then this afternoon from, say, I-95 eastward, we have a chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. And boy, we desperately need the rain. It's not going to be enough to really make much of a dent for us. But closer to the coast, including parts of Sampson County, there's a level 1 risk for severe storms later on today for the potential for damaging winds. For us, hour by hour, we'll climb all the way into the 90s by lunchtime and in the mid-90s this afternoon, and it will feel like low 100s. With the heat index, I'll walk you through the heat index for each day this week coming up.
And as Elizabeth mentioned, we have a WRAL weather alert day for dangerous heat today. Doctors say it's important to prepare your body before you go outside. WRAL's Laura Levine is at Knightdale Station Park right now, and doctors expect an increase of people going to the hospital with heat-related illnesses. Laura, good morning.
Jeff, good morning. Excessive heat can really take a toll on your body. So that's why it's really important if you plan to spend some time outdoors, packing things like water, sunscreen, and maybe even a nice little fan to stay cool is really essential at this time. As you've mentioned, doctors are really saying they are expecting an influx of heat-related calls. This heat wave will have temperatures feeling like the triple digits. First responders and hospitals have already seen some of that influx we've been talking about. Wake County EMS shared with us that they received 8 heat-related calls on Saturday, and they've treated more than 20 patients because of this since June. Dr. J.J. Hoff with Duke University says knowing the symptoms and pre-hydrating is key.
Very often in the early stages of heat waves like this, you don't really see people come in saying that they're here because they're hot, but what you do see is a little more people here for things like lightheadedness and dehydration and things of that nature, where they're starting to feel the effects.
And he says if you do begin to feel your body overheating, finding ways to quickly cool off can really be helpful, such as grabbing a cool towel or even a nice little fan like this that has a little mister is the most effective way. However, if you do begin to feel severe symptoms, he says, call 911. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Knightdale.
And with months of dangerous heat and an active hurricane season ahead of us, downloading the WRAL News app enables you to get life-saving severe weather alerts and important local and national news. Current app users should download the latest version. And you can do that by June 29 to avoid missing crucial breaking news and other alerts. Breaking news in Raleigh on a crash near New Hope Road and Atlantic Avenue. Nick Perlin joins us live from the police department from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Nick, you learned 2 people were shot.
That's right. We got this information minutes ago, just as we were coming on air. 2 people were shot in a car. It looks like they are expected to recover, but this crime scene was taped off for hours. Part of it was actually inside of a shopping center. I want to get you to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And like I said, you can see crime scene tape blocking off large portions of this parking lot as Raleigh police tried to investigate what happened. And just a little bit up the road in in the road, rather, right where this large crime scene is. That's where we saw this car crash. We're not sure if these are related, but it does look like it might have something to do with this shooting. Like we said, we know 2 people were taken to the hospital. They are expected to recover, but still a lot of questions that we're asking Raleigh police right now. If that crash and that shooting were related, if anybody was inside one of those cars during the shooting. We're going to stay on top of this, and when we have more information, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
More breaking news out of Raleigh this morning. 3 people are in the hospital after shooting near a restaurant in Raleigh. This happened at around 11 p.m. outside of La Buena Vida on Falls of Neuse Road. Police say a man and woman have non-life-threatening injuries. Another man has a serious injury. Officers are working to determine what led to the shooting. Police are still looking for the shooter. Today, we expect an announcement from Novo Nordisk on a major expansion. At a news conference this afternoon at 2, the drug manufacturer will reveal plans for what it describes as a significant development. People familiar with Novo Nordisk's plans tell WRAL's NC Capital team the company is investing more than $1 billion in Johnston County. The expansion is expected to create about 1,000 jobs. The Johnston County Board of Commissioners are holding a special meeting this morning to talk about economic incentives for development. Sources tell WRAL that meeting is about Novo Nordisk.
The state Senate is expected to vote today on how the state should spend $1 billion surplus. The vote is another step in a standoff with the State House over how to spend the money. The chambers need to agree on a proposal for any of it to be spent, and lawmakers are still at odds over things like extra raises for state workers. The new fiscal year begins in a week, but legislative leaders indicate it could be months before a new budget is approved, if one gets approved at all. Now, for full coverage of state budget negotiations, you can go to NC Capital section of WRAL.com. Several people are in police custody after 2 separate high-speed chases over the weekend. According to WRAL data trackers, this makes at least 44 chases now involving law enforcement in our area already this year. Police say the latest chase started Sunday afternoon after 2 people tried to steal from a Walmart. Officers tried to stop the car, but the driver sped away. The chase ended with a crash on NC 98 near Camp Canada Road. Both people in the car were hurt but are expected to be okay. A Rayford man is facing serious charges after leading a trooper on a high-speed chase. That chase started on I-40 East just before midnight Saturday night. The driver crashed while trying to exit onto I-95 South near Benson. Troopers say he went off the road while trying to take that exit at nearly 100 miles an hour. Troopers say the driver is 26-year-old Lamine Lowe and was in a stolen car.
Today marks 2 years since the Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. The anniversary comes as the High Court considers another potentially monumental abortion case. It could rule any day now on whether a federal law mandating emergency care can override a state ban on the procedure. The Biden campaign says it is holding more than 50 events to rally supporters around the anniversary. A pro-life event is happening today in Raleigh to talk about what's changed since then. The North Carolina Values Coalition will hold a news conference at 10 this morning on Halifax Mall. The group says women from across the state will talk about the ongoing effect of the Dobbs versus Jackson decision on state law. Right now, abortion is banned in North Carolina after 12 weeks.
Wake County wants you to know cooling stations are available to keep you safe from the heat. Each of the county's public libraries will be open today as cooling stations. The county's Health and Human Service centers in Raleigh will also be available. Regional centers in Cary, Fuquay Varina, Wake Forest, and also in Cary will be all open as cooling stations as well.
Starting today, you may notice more law enforcement along the highway. It's the first day of Operation Firecracker, Booze It and Lose It. Dozens of law enforcement agencies will increase their patrols and be on the lookout for drunk drivers. It's an annual effort focused on the 4th of July travel period. Duke University leaders will mark the beginning of the campaign at the Karsh Alumni Center this morning. Operation Firecracker runs through July 7th.
The Team USA track and field trials are now in full swing, and they're in Oregon. UNC's Ethan Strand will be racing for a spot on the Olympic team tonight. He is qualified for the men's 1,500-meter final with his performance at the trials Saturday. Raleigh native, Campbell University student Dominique Alexander competed in the men's 100-meter semifinal last night. He did not qualify for the final. Two local women raced in the 400-meter final. Jamesha Ford went to Jack Britt High School in Fayetteville. Kanara Haynes is from Hope Mills. Unfortunately, neither was able to secure a spot on the Olympic team. You can watch the races on WRAL, the Track and Field Olympic Trials, airing tonight starting at 8 o'clock.
We are getting new information about a mass shooting at a supermarket in Arkansas. The details police have revealed about this suspected gunman and the shooting that left 4 people dead.
Also, summer camp with a goal to inspire more girls to become firefighters. It just wrapped up in Charlotte. How your kids can get involved in a similar camp closer to home.
And let's take a live look now at Chapel Hill on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner joins us next to talk about our dangerous heat and the potential for rain.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It's 4:44 and we're taking a look outside. Boy, it's steamy out there this morning. 80 degrees in Wilson. I noticed last night before I went to sleep that the trees really started to move around a bit. So it's a little breezy out there still this morning. The whirligigs are spinning around. In Durham, it's 82, and in Fayetteville, it is 79. We have a little bit of cloud cover, you'll notice, as the sun comes up. We're not completely clear this morning. And we do have the potential for some late day showers and storms, especially along and east of I-95. We'll walk through that coming up. 77 in Lewisburg. 79 Fayetteville, 77 South Hill, 79 in Goldsboro. So it's a very warm start. You'll notice that walking the dog this morning. It's really uncomfortable out there. We'll climb to 95 and it'll feel more like closer to 100 this afternoon.
Elizabeth, thanks. Police in Arkansas are giving more details about a mass shooting that killed 4 people at a supermarket. State police say the shooter started shooting as soon as he got out of his truck in the parking lot Friday. They say he then went into the store, firing at both customers and employees. State police say they were on the scene 3 minutes after the first call. In total, 13 people were shot, including 2 officers. The suspected shooter, Travis Posey, faces 4 counts of capital murder. Authorities say they don't know why he opened fire.
Police in Florida are working to make an arrest after a shooter killed the rapper Fulio. The shooting happened in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn hotel in Tampa early Sunday morning. A law firm that represented Fulio said he was in town there over the weekend to celebrate his 26th birthday. He was having a party at an Airbnb, but was asked to leave. His attorney says the rapper was ambushed in the hotel parking lot after checking in there.
A monsoon storm in Arizona is responsible for the death of a woman in Tucson. That's according to the Tucson Fire Department. They say the woman was found in a river. First responders pulled her from the river Saturday afternoon and tried to resuscitate her. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The fire department says they responded to more than 25 storm-related calls in just 90 minutes.
Scary situation on Harris Lake for 3 people who had to be rescued from a sinking boat. Wake County Sheriff's Office says the sinking boat was reported just before noon Sunday. A team with the Sheriff's Office found the boat and was able to rescue one of the passengers. A nearby boater rescued the other 2 passengers. The Sheriff's Office there said the boat sank because of mechanical issues. 2 people were hurt after a boat ran ashore in Atlantic Beach on the coast. You can see here where that boat is on the sand. This happened Saturday night around 6. Investigators say the boat was traveling pretty fast when it got to the shore. 2 people were on the boat when it happened. They were taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
It's been 6 years since Rocky Mount police officer Christopher Driver died on the job. Officer Driver got into a crash in his patrol car while responding to a call in 2018. The police department said on Facebook, Officer Driver was a true hero who embodied the finest qualities of a law enforcement officer.
There's a new push to inspire more girls in North Carolina to become firefighters. Chapel Hill Fire Department's Camp Ignite program gets started today. The camp was inspired by the Charlotte Fire Department's camp. This year's Camp Ignite in Charlotte just wrapped up. It gives girls firefighting experience and encourages them to pursue it as a career.
A lot of girls don't get the necessary, support that they feel they may need, or they just don't know what their options are when you go outside. Like, there are very, important career fields, but we want to share our career field as well.
Chapel Hill's Camp Ignite is a 4-day program. It's open to girls grades 8 through 12 at Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. 4:48, we're coming up on right now on our Monday. It's a steamy start to our Monday here. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. You feel it when you get outside.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, it's not news. I mean, over the weekend, it was just, it was the same. So we're going to see more of that really all week long. We kind of got spoiled for the first part of the month of June. And, now as we're wrapping up the month, it is finally really feeling like summer. 82, our temperature heading out the door. We do have a southwest wind at 11. We're going to see that changing. We're going to see a cold front that comes through today. It's going to bring some showers and storms, but mostly to our eastern counties. Most of us won't end up seeing it, but it is going to drop our dew point slightly. You're not going to notice a big difference, but it'll be a subtle enough difference that the Weather Service did drop the heat advisory for today. Yes, this morning when I got up and looked at it, it had it, but they've dropped it since then. So we take a look at our temperatures around town. 95 in Raleigh, 96 Durham, 95 in Fayetteville. The heat index is likely to feel like 98 to 100, which doesn't put us in that heat advisory criteria, which is up around 105. We do have the potential for some scattered storms today, but again, most of that's going to be south and east of the triangle. Here comes that front. We'll pause that right here. That front is approaching us. We still have some lingering showers and thunderstorms from late last night up in the northeastern part of North Carolina. We'll see this front swinging through, and really we'll have an isolated shower that could start closer to lunchtime in our eastern counties. There's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and potentially a few more of those closer to 5. Notice how all of a sudden all the clouds are coming from the north to south. It's not really going to cool things down, but just subtly, it's going to drop our humidity a little bit. So right now we're sitting at tropical at 74. We're probably going to drop it right down to steamy. I mean, you're not going to notice a huge difference, but technically it's going to take us out of that heat advisory for today. So we are humid today. We may drop it a little bit more to tolerable on Tuesday, but look at Thursday. We're right back up to tropical again. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be watching for some fairly intense heat. This is a look at where the heat advisories are right now. So from Florida up through the middle of the country is where the heat is most intense for today. 89 is our normal high. So of course we're well above that. The hottest day of the next 5 is likely to be Wednesday at 99. We hit 100 yesterday for the first time this year, and that ended up tying a record. So the heat index today and tomorrow likely to be in the upper 90s to around 100, but by Wednesday and Thursday, we could be back into that heat danger zone. So we'll be watching that for you real carefully. Some more chances for showers and thunderstorms, which is great. As a matter of fact, Thursday, another front comes through with a better chance up to 60%. We'll walk through that coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. Coming up, a pageant contest in Texas is proving that beauty has no age. How this 71-year-old is making history as she competes in Miss Texas USA.
And when a baby cheetah was born without siblings, it was time for 2 zoos to come up with a solution to help it live. How this little guy is adapting to life in his new adopted family next. A summer concert tour kicks off this week featuring Thomas Dolby among the artists playing. Rick Damigella has that story and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Music fans might just hear Thomas Dolby perform She Blinded Me with Science at the Totally Tubular Festival. Other acts featured in the new wave-themed lineup include The Tubes and Modern English. The tour starts tomorrow in Seattle with dates throughout the month of July.
Willkommen in unserer Abteilung. Kriminalassistentin Ritter.
The 4th season of German crime thriller Babylon Berlin premieres tomorrow, taking place during the 1930s following the global stock market crash. The series is available to stream subtitled or dubbed in English on MHZ Choice.
Open your eyes and look clearly at what's going on around you.
Kinds of Kindness scores a box office bragging right. Poor Things director Yorgos Lanthimos' new film opened in just 5 locations, scoring a Best of the Year per theater average for a limited release movie of $70,000. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
A contestant for Miss Texas USA is making history and proving beauty has no age. Marissa Teo is 71 years old. She's from East El Paso and is the oldest contestant to ever compete for the state title. She became eligible to participate due to a recent rule change. Teo developed a passion for fitness at a young age and takes part in a number of fitness competitions over the years. She ultimately did not win the competition, but certainly made history nonetheless.
One of Chicago's iconic landmarks is once again open to the public. The Bean statue reopened yesterday. It was closed about a year ago so workers could renovate the plaza around it. Gates closed off that sculpture to the public while workers made repairs. Those gates are now gone, and people can now get an up-close view of the iconic artwork, also known as Cloud Gate.
The Cincinnati Zoo is welcoming a newly adopted cheetah cub. The cub came from Oregon, where he was an only child. He was introduced to the Cincinnati litter to increase his chance of survival. So he was introduced to his two adopted brothers and mom last week. Staff at the zoo say it's going well, and the mom is exhibiting healthy maternal behaviors toward the cub. The head keeper for the breeding center, it's a good thing cheetahs can't count. Just one more to love there.
Got some more brothers and sisters they can't count. That's pretty funny. You don't know who's stopping in.
Here's a live look at Durham now. We'll share some tips from a doctor on how to prepare your body for the dangerous heat.
Also, a serious crash has closed off part of Walmart parking lot in Raleigh. What we are learning about this investigation.
And we're expecting a major economic announcement from Novo Nordisk. How many jobs the company's new expansion project could bring to Johnston County.